she's not a foreign policy expert.
Clearly.
And so, no, she's not.
You
don't say. Yeah. Come on, give her a break.
You guys, this is
you don't even know who's running in Texas.
Okay, so there's a ton of things you don't know. Stop being condescending.
For 5 seconds, let somebody finish their thoughts before you have to be rude.
Ana Navarro joined Abby Phillips' show for a fiery showdown with one of the biggest MAGA defenders around, Kevin O'Leary, who, in my opinion, is easily one of the most frustrating voices on television. She was part of a strong panel that also featured Kerry champion Lee McGowan, and another guest who looked like he had stepped straight out of a gangster movie. The discussion quickly turned intense, and we're about to watch some of the most heated moments from that debate on Abby Phillips' show. I'll also break everything down and give you my own thoughts as we go. So let's jump right into it together.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is facing a wave of criticism for this foreign policy flub at the Munich Security Conference.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very longstanding policy of the United States, and I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point, and we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
It should come as no surprise, MAGA is having a field day with this one.
Move over, Kamala. AOC just cooked up her own signature word salad on the global stage.
She was taking her 2028 bike out for a spin. She hit the embankment. She flipped head over heels and went all the way down the mountain. It's her fault.
After the word salad, AOC froze like a deer in headlights.
To quote Billy Madison, everyone in this room is now dumber because of that answer. Thank you, AOC.
A flub for AOC, but the question is also, what happens when the president, the actual president of the United States, does very similar things on the world stage? Listen.
I watch our police and our firemen down on 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center.
When I told them about Iceland, they loved me. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland.
Shifting production to Thailand and to Vietnam.
I solved wars that was unsolvable. Azerbaijan and Albania.
Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa.
Nambia's health system is increasingly self-sufficient. We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. This is, sorry about that. We just signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union.
So look, I'll give you that AOC probably should have been more ready for that question, but are we going to really pretend that the actual president of the United States has not made similar or perhaps worse flubs on the global stage?
Yeah, I don't think we have to pretend. Everyone makes some flubs. We're all TV personalities. We have mistakes here and there, but it's interesting that you would play 10 consecutive clips of Trump actually saying things. Maybe they may not have been pertinent or taken out of context.
Incorrect
but you played one of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which the whole world is still trying to figure out exactly what she was saying. So, the big buzz now is maybe Kamala, AOC, 2028. I say, bring that on based on that performance right there.
Yeah, listen, stumbling over your words for 15 seconds is not the same as being incoherent or uneducated on foreign policy. She had a ton of amazing answers in that same interview, which we are not playing. We are playing in its entirety, which we do not do for the president. Personally, I was more interested in the thing she said, where she said we're entering an age of authoritarianism, where a group is working in tandem to carve up the world into pieces to serve themselves, and the president is interested in taking on the Western Hemisphere. First of all, that seems kind of true to me, but going to the Munich Security Conference and saying that out loud in the world is kind of ballsy, and I liked it. So a couple of before answering a question on Taiwan.
Not a big deal.
You should go to Queens once in a while before she goes to Munich. That would probably help.
She has gone to Queens a few times, and she's she's not a foreign policy expert.
Clearly.
And so, she's not.
You don't say. Yeah. Come on, give her a break.
You guys, this is
you don't even know who's running in Texas.
Okay, so there's a ton of things you don't know. Stop being condescending.
For 5 seconds, let somebody finish their thoughts before you have to be rude.
I would like to see how you would be able to answer that. Look, I think that it takes a lot of courage, and I think for her to be expanding her message, for her to be expanding her areas of policy interest are a good thing. She is one of 435 members of Congress. There's a lot of them there that don't come with a breadth of foreign policy
You're right. She
knowledge.
was fabulous.
It's not about her being fabulous. It wasn't.
Let's say you're hired to give a speech. Let's say you're hired because you're expected to deliver information to an audience. Let's say you're even paid for it. When you go and do that, what happens is the agency that hired you, whether it's the government, your own party, says that was not your best moment. In fact, they tied you back to Kamala Harris. You were so bad that you sounded like her. And by the way, I'm sorry, it's not a partisan issue. She was terrible. Get over it. Now maybe she'll get better.
20 seconds. That was it.
In the reality, are you kidding?
But the reality is, if you take just a minute and not be condescending, I really believe what she was.
I'm trying to
one moment. You had your moment. You had your moment.
Let her respond.
The reality is,
that's what's great about
God, I can't stand Kevin O'Leary. He says, I always have more moments. That's what's great about me. And that pretty much sums up his attitude. Kevin O'Leary comes across as incredibly arrogant, smug, and full of himself. I loved seeing Ana Navarro and Carrie Champion push back against him and basically tell him to stop acting so condescending and rude, because that kind of behavior seems to be the only strategy MAGA supporters rely on. What also stood out was Kevin O'Leary and the other guy on the panel, John Tobacco, who looked like he walked straight out of a mob movie. They were holding AOC to a much higher standard than the President of the United States, who, in Kevin O'Leary's eyes, can apparently do no wrong. That's the part that almost never gets mentioned. Sure, AOC stumbled over a few words and made a mistake while speaking, but they're acting like it's a bigger deal than the repeated mistakes made by Donald Trump. Shouldn't the President of the United States be held to the highest standard? Instead, they ignore Trump's errors and immediately switch to, what about AOC? That's the same old whataboutism that keeps coming up whenever they don't want to defend
she wasn't great for less than 20 seconds, if you ask me, but I thought she was doing something that the President of the United States rarely does, and that's think before she speaks.
I don't recall.
She was trying to get her words together so she knew how to handle it appropriately.
It's not partisan.
And if people did that, we wouldn't be in this situation that we're in right now.
Hold on a second. Abby would tell the producers don't have him on anymore. So we wouldn't be on ever again.
Everyone stop talking, please, for just a moment. Stop talking. Thank you. John and Kevin, you all are strongly criticizing AOC for making flubs.
Terrible. That's why.
All right. We just played several bites here. Okay. Let me hold on. He stood next to someone from the EU and called them the Prime Minister of the UK. Okay. He called South Africa. South America. He called South America, South Africa. He called Greenland, Iceland.
So maybe Namibia.
So my question to you is, okay, bad answers. What do you think should happen to Donald Trump as a result of his bad answers?
AOC wants to become the President of the United States. He already is.
Okay, so
he's not worried about running again.
So what are you saying?
She's trying to be.
We don't even know if AOC wants to run for President of the United States. So Kevin O'Leary is making a huge assumption from the start. That's a weak argument, especially coming from someone who never seems too concerned about sticking to the facts. Sure, plenty of people would like to see AOC run for president someday, but that doesn't mean she has any plans to do it herself. At this point, there's no proof that she's interested in running. Yet Kevin O'Leary speaks as if it's already a fact. Instead of dealing with what's actually being discussed, he builds an argument around something that hasn't even happened, making it easier to attack a claim that exists only in his own imagination.
Because he's already president?
No, I'm just saying that moment was not her best. And I, above all of the rest of you, I am encouraging her to say, listen, watch the tape. Don't do that again, or you'll be compared to word salad girl.
What about
in the last
when Donald
election.
Trump, in 2024, said, I think Taiwan should pay us for defense.
Yeah, but I'm sorry,
I don't think that we're any different from an insurance policy. He was running. He was running for president at that time.
Let's lift her up.
He says, I don't think we are any different from an insurance policy. Why are we doing this? When he was asked if the United States would defend Taiwan.
But what does that have to do with her performance?
So even on the
Trump, MAGA's having a field day, and then we make some comments which you were all thinking in your head, and now you're getting mad at us
I'm sorry,
having a field day. We deserve it.
For you.
It was a terrible
John, hey, I'm just asking for you all to apply the same standard.
I think he makes mistakes all the time, and I crack up laughing. Just like I cracked up at Joe Biden when he made mistakes. It happened.
You're not cracking up when the woman's laughing. You're mocking her. You're saying she's uneducated.
I'm cracking up when I see her because she's not even forming sentences.
Then you're comparing her to the other strong woman who ran.
She's not giving like a wrong fact
I am
or a wrong name.
But when women make a gaffe, they're monsters that should never be invited back.
Thank
you. You know what one of the differences is, though? When Trump makes these mistakes as president, he's actually reading from things that people supposedly experts on these issues have written. AOC was beyond her skis, I think, in a place that is a new horizon for her.
Don't say
Enough, Kevin. You're so damn repetitive.
Kevin, please stop.
And, you know, she can't, I mean, Donald Trump can't read a script. She was answering an impromptu question of something that she's not an expert in. And she's there making mistakes and learning from them. Listen, I'm old enough to remember when George W. Bush was running for president and they asked him about the guy running Pakistan. What was his name? And he kept saying, General, because he couldn't remember the guy's name.
An iconic moment in American history.
Yes, I mean, all right. And he went on to be.
Anyone who isn't completely caught up in the MAGA movement can see that AOC comes across as far more prepared and knowledgeable than Donald Trump. Trump is often criticized for the way he speaks and presents himself. And outside of some of his strongest supporters like Kevin O'Leary, John Tabacco, Scott Jennings, Ben Ferguson, and others who regularly defend him on television, many people question his abilities as a communicator and leader. Public opinion on Trump remains deeply divided, and while his supporters continue to back him strongly, his critics argue that AOC is much more effective, even if she occasionally stumbles over a few words during a speech. One slip-up doesn't suddenly erase everything else she brings to the table. Let me know in the comments who you think is the stronger speaker and who seems more capable overall, AOC or Donald Trump. Kevin O'Leary clearly stands firmly behind Trump no matter what, and his constant defense of him makes that obvious. Maybe that's why he always rushes to excuse Trump's mistakes while focusing on everyone else's. I also have to imagine it's frustrating for people like Lee McGowan, Ana Navarro, and Carrie Champion to debate panelists who keep repeating the same talking points instead of seriously addressing the issues. Personally, I'd like to see more thoughtful conservative voices on Abby Phillips' show. People like S.E. Cupp and Tara Setmayer who are willing to challenge ideas with facts instead of relying on partisan loyalty. But what do you think? Do you agree with Kevin O'Leary's criticism of AOC? Or do you think Carrie Champion, Lee McGowan, and Ana Navarro made the stronger arguments? Share your thoughts in the comments below.